seems like when I do videos early in the morning, since there's no sunlight behind me, my face actually shows up in the video, which is good because I have to go into Adobe After Effects every time, and I have to change the brightness and the contrast, which gets very tiring, by the way. Yeah. There are a few things I've noticed about myself that have changed while intermediate fasting. Now, if you don't know what intermediate fasting is somehow by now, maybe you live in a third world country and you have no food, so you're always doing intermediate fasting, sort of. Anyways, one thing I want to say is that the subliminal I'm making is taking a while because the way this subliminal is going to be is it is going to be a fighting subliminal, but it's going to be more of a audio-visual. Because usually I make only visual subliminals, but this one's going to be audio-visual. As in the videos, the people who are showing you the moves are going to explain them to you. And all the moves in this video, compared to other videos where it was more fight choreography, and there is a difference, compared to real street and prison fights. See, in street and prison fights, there are no rules. It's not like an MMA match or a fighting movie with lots of fighting choreography. In an MMA or boxing match, there are rules that you have to follow. In a prison or street fight, which I've been in, not a prison, but a street fight, then there are no rules, and this is what this subliminal is about. Like if you're in school and you're on the playground, I don't know who you are, and a group of like 3 kids come up to you and start bullying you, want your lunch money or something, if that's still even allowed in schools, bullying, then you can use these moves to probably get expelled from school. Because they're extremely violent, and they aren't like any other subliminal I've made. Because most of the subliminals I've made have lots of fight choreography, which you can't use in real life. Your unconscious mind, your fight or flight, doesn't use fight choreography. You're not going to fly towards your enemy like Superman and knock him into a building and the building will explode. Not reality right there. Yeah. But who knows, maybe in like a few couple of years, we will be able to do that. Who the fuck knows? I said a naughty word. The things I've noticed, this kind of different topic, what I've noticed with intermediate fasting is, 1, my muscles are growing. 2, I'm looking slightly older than I was in older videos. 3, my brain is growing, which is true. 4, I'm healthier. How did it take me so long to think of that word? I'm healthier. And basically what that means is that when you intermediate fast, not fast, intermediate fast, you get so much shit for saying, I intermediate fast. But you're skinny, you can't There's a man who is a strongman bodybuilder, and he is super muscular, and he eats 1 meal a day. He eats 8 calories a day, 800 calories a day, and he is a world-renowned bodybuilder / strongman. When you're strongman, it just means you increase the weight. You don't try to necessarily look good, but he looks good because he meditates. He's on, I think, the paleo diet. Paleo diet is where you only eat the essentials. seeds, nuts, fish, meat, and nothing processed. And fruits and vegetables. If I could say any kind of diet, if I could choose, which I can, I would choose paleo and intermediate fasting. The reason you get so much shit for intermediate fasting is because the brainwashed people see it on the news and be like, that's not what the TV box said. TV box said this, so it must be true. Then if you say, oh, I saw something on the internet, not everything on the internet is true. You just get instantly, fucking attacked. And it's like, well, you believe everything you see on television, so where does television get half their information? The internet. Hold on. You may have stupid parents, and I really mean that, because there are still a lot of brainwashed people on this planet who can't alternatively think. They're too left-brained. Analytically, I'm good at math. It's like, okay, good for you. But you're not good at thinking outside of the box. Some people are intuitive and left-brained, because intuition comes from right brain, not left brain, right brain. I've noticed my voice has gotten deeper, and I've gotten slightly microscopically taller. And the only thing I've changed is intermediate fasting. What I do now is I eat, usually depending on when I fall asleep and stop eating, I'll eat either at 10 o'clock and then 3 o'clock, and then I won't eat anything else. And you know what? I feel fine. We're told in the news and the media that if we fast or intermediate fast, it's unhealthy. Quite the opposite. For actually, and I encourage you to go to the channel What I've Learned, because he in detail explains each thing that he talks about. Unlike my channel, where I pretty much just say that it exists, explain where you can find it, and if you're interested in that topic, you can go off and look for it for more information on it. But not enough people do that. They'll either find my channel and say, I even got one time, one guy was like, why do you give all these percentages? And it's like, because I'm guessing. I don't know for, fucking fact. I'm not constantly always right. But you know what? Stubborn people will think that way. They'll think you think that you're always right if you disagree with them. Stubborn people, like my grandma, if you have your own opinion and they have theirs, but you don't agree only with their opinion, like you have your own opinion, you have to do it. If it's wrong, you found out it's wrong on your own. It was your choice to do it. But stubborn people will call you stubborn if you don't 1000% agree with their way of thinking. That is the way to find a stubborn person. You are not stubborn for having your own idea or opinion. They are stubborn for getting mad at you for not completely doing everything they say. Most likely this could be your parents, this could be your grandparents, this could be your siblings, this could be a friend at school. You never know. No, you do know, but I don't, because I don't know you. some stuff I've realized that you can do is, one, you can make your neck stronger with bricks. Like, when I first started iron body conditioning, I never did my neck because I'm like, well, on TV and on the news it says the neck is very fragile and you shouldn't put any pressure on your neck because that will kill you. Yeah, that's not true. What I started doing, and it's very easy to grow your neck if you hit it with a brick. Not hard. Hitting it hard will fuck your neck up. It doesn't take much pressure for your neck to grow. Just putting that out there. If you go back and look at my older videos, I actually look like a 7-year-old. I wouldn't doubt that. Like, I have the body. My body's actually growing. That is because when you intermediate fast, you are producing more human growth hormone. The longer you fast, the more human growth hormone you release. I'm learning all this stuff. I just try to teach what I learned from other people to more people that sort of subscribe to me or see my videos. But no, I don't know everything, and I admit that. New people may see me and be like, asshole, he doesn't know everything. I know I don't know everything. And that's why I learn more and more each day, because I can admit that. People who think they're right all the time are the people who don't get anywhere in life. But you know what? They have the ability to change. It's their choice. But a lot of them don't want to change because they already think they're perfect. Yeah. I live with people like that. I don't usually like talking bad about my family unless you watch my older videos, which I do that all the time. And I don't do it anymore. But I will say this. Grandma, please, don't come into my room with a flashlight at 8 o'clock at night, ask me if I took my meds, and then shine the flashlight directly in my eyes and get surprised when I push you out of the way. When someone is sleeping and you abruptly wake them up and then you put a flashlight directly in their eyes, you should be the one apologizing to them. Because that is shock to someone's brain. I have epilepsy, so if you shock my brain too hard, I'll have a seizure, and it will be 1000% your fault. You caused it because you shocked my brain. I have had more seizures living at my grandparents' house than I ever have in my life. And see, that's just a guess too. But literally, I used to have about 7 seizures a month. Because I let these people I live with get to me. I let them bug me. Sometimes when someone you live with bugs the fuck out of you, you just have to deal with it. Because I would rather live in this room and have this room to myself without having to pay rent than live on the street sucking dick for money to survive. And living on Taco Bell, because if I had to live on a very cheap food, I would pick Taco Bell over McDonald's. And I don't eat fast food. I used to when I was younger, but I don't anymore, because it will kill you. That's just the truth. You know, sugar is more addictive than crack. And the only reason it's legal is because the richest people on the planet put it in all the food. Not all the food, but most of it. You know, fucking shitty Lunchables, shitty Slurpees from 7-Eleven, shitty food in general. Yogurt. There's so much sugar in yogurt. And you know what it does? it makes you release tons of dopamine, the pleasure hormone, the excitement hormone. Sugar makes you, because sugar, the white powdery stuff that looks almost like cocaine, sugar is manufactured from a plant. What I've Learned YouTube channel taught me a very true fact. He said that all these drugs are completely fine in their natural state. Like cocaine, before it's made into cocaine out of cocoa leaves, workers actually just suck on or chew the cocoa leaves, and it gives them a high. A small high. Kind of like caffeine. The farmers chew on it. Yet, to survive in very poor areas, they have to collect loads, like as big as my room is, they have to collect more than that of cocoa leaves and add battery acid to it. They have to add all this shit, which eventually turns it into a powder about this much, worth, I'm going to say over 100,000. Crack, crystal meth, cocaine, I don't know all the drug prices, but there are websites that show you the street prices. And those sites don't get taken down. That's why I think that all these government things where they say, this person is an outlaw of the law because they exposed a bunch of shit. They're lying. They're evil. They're a terrorist. I honestly believe that the people that we think are so strong are actually extremely weak. Because if, what's his name? I forget, the dorky, skinny guy with glasses that admitted knowing certain top secret information, Edward Dalla or something, I don't remember his name. He exposed a bunch of shit, but you know how easy it is in movies, for the government to just fucking find you. He says that he has all these IP addresses hidden and he has a bunch of proxies. But still, the government would be able to find you according to movies. I would say movies are the most brainwashing thing to us because they tell us how to think. Advertisements tell us how to think. There was an advertisement when I walked into the living room that I just happened to see. I wasn't watching TV. I just happened to walk in at this time. And there was a dad showing his daughter how to shave legs. He was shaving his legs, which men never do because it's itchy and uncomfortable, but women do. And the dad is showing the 10-year-old daughter how to shave her legs. What do you see wrong with this? I know in the world right now we're trying to do equality, but they are seriously trying to make men as feminine as possible. When you show on television over and over and over and over again, since they play 15 commercials each time, that's why if you watch things online, the episodes are only 15 minutes. Because 15 minutes of that show are commercials. Yeah. So anyways, what they're trying to do in the world, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they're trying to make women more masculine. That's why girls are kind of shaving their heads nowadays in America, which is really unattractive. But to them, the news has brainwashed them into thinking that way. The news has brainwashed women into thinking everyone's a lesbian. So more and more girls are, in movies, in TV shows, they're promoting it. They're promoting men to be more feminine and women to be more masculine. And in the 50s, it was the complete opposite. That just shows, and all the baby boomers still think that way, that just shows how much the media brainwashes us. Seriously, it does. In the 50s, in the early 49s, women were the slaves, pretty much, and just cooked. They were only used to clean, cook, take the kids to school, or and the man worked. And old people nowadays, baby boomers, still think that way. A good portion of them still think that way. And more than likely, the brainwashed people of this generation are going to think that way when they're old. Yeah. It's because they're being programmed and they're not willing to unprogram themselves. It's called rewiring. It is literally called rewiring. You're rewiring your brain to get rid of the old bullshit and put in healthy bullshit. Yeah. And when I say healthy bullshit, I meant positive subliminals that actually improve your life. Something not enough people are doing. My life wouldn't have improved in the past 2 years if I didn't start listening to subliminals again. Subliminals made me less paranoid. They made my anxiety go down. They made my strength slightly go up, depending on which ones you listen to. Don't ask me which ones to listen to. Please stop asking me subliminal questions. You can ask me a little, but don't fill the comment section with subliminal questions. Because it gets really tiring after a while, and eventually my account is growing really fucking fast. I get about 10 subscribers a day, and I know that doesn't seem like much, but to a growing channel, that's a lot. If I'm lucky, I get 10 subscribers a day, but it's still increasing. See, I do the Ty Lopez method, and if you don't know who Ty Lopez is, he's that fake entrepreneur dude who actually gives good information sometimes, but he's fucking annoying because he utilizes AdWords and he puts tons of ads of his face and he rents nice houses so it looks like he's a millionaire. And he'll always say, this is my house, or this is the land I just bought. Do you know how easy it is for me to go onto a soccer field and say, this is all the land I just bought? Bullshit. I've even seen his house on Google Maps. And if you ever look at Google Maps, and you do Street View, or you do from the Earth view from above, that's all taken by drones and cars. My mom's neighbor makes labels for Google, and Google rides around in a car that has a thing on the top that takes pictures of the whole neighborhoods everywhere. That is how they get it. There's no satellites in space taking pictures. They showed literally on a few videos how NASA creates with CGI all these space things of them flying. There's even one video of their suit is like this, as in they're hanging from strings, and then the CGI is taking the strings out so it looks like they're levitating. There are videos on YouTube of how to do it with a green screen. Edward Norton, I believe that's his name. That was the guy who exposed a bunch of shit. But if the government actually had a lot of power, which I don't know if they do or not, then they could have killed him by now. Or maybe he still works for them, and he's trying to make the paranoid people more paranoid, because that's what the government does. They want to appear powerful. So they say all this shit to get one side angry, get the other side angry, so the two sides fight and don't ask any questions about what's actually going on, about who actually runs things. Yeah, that's what the government does all the fucking time. An easy way to tell, because you're supposed to intermediate fast for like 16 hours. That's the minimum of intermediate fasting. The way to tell, a good way to tell, is if you eat, the last time you eat before bed is at 6 p.m., then at 6 a.m. in the morning, it would be 12 hours. So anything after that, you just add an hour onto. That is how I've learned to pretty much keep track. There we go, yeah. But this morning, I mean, with me, it's usually either 14 to 16 hours. There was only one time where I didn't eat for 18 hours. And the reason I was able to do that is because I had a fuck ton of food the night before at 6 p.m. I suggest eating a lot of food at 3 p.m. and then intermediate fasting until either 10 in the morning, probably 10 in the morning, because I believe that's 16 hours. No, that's more than 16 hours. After I've heard this from so many people who do intermediate fasting, if you don't eat and just drink water with Himalayan sea salt, then depending on how much you eat now, you won't be used to it and you'll have to slowly do it. But depending on how long you fast, usually the longest it should be intermediate fast, 3 days. That's the longest for intermediate fasting. And it will speed your brain up and help improve memory. And because of ketones in your brain, you can get some of these ketones by fasting for 16 hours. 14 to 16, but 16 is what you should do. Since the last time I ate was 5 p.m., it is now 6 p.m., so I haven't eaten for 13 hours. After you fast for about 3 days, you don't usually feel the need to eat again. That's what I've heard. I don't know that for a fact. Calm down. People who always find one of my videos and don't understand my channel will usually find another video or the newest one and they'll start bitching at me like, you're wrong, that's not true, or they'll insult me. The more you insult me with comments, the more money I make off your dumb ass, because YouTube gives you money regardless if it's a like or a dislike or a comment or a negative comment. You're still fueling my AdSense account. And even if you delete your comment, here's a little fun fact that will make you not even leave a mean comment in the first place. If you delete those comments, I still get money, regardless. It still says that the comment is there, even if you delete it. So I'll still make money from it. So why even insult someone's video in the first place? 1, it's mean. 2, it's pointless. 3, you still feel horrible inside. And 4, the person is making money off of you for being mean. That is why Leafy is such an ass, because he attracts assholes who fight each other, which makes him more money in the comments section. I don't like doing that, because I don't want to attract assholes. I want to attract smart, intuitive, open-minded, clairvoyant people. Okay, I'm going to end this here. And